Patch 7.3.5 brought level scaling to all of Azeroth, and with it, a renewed sense of enjoyment for leveling. There are plenty of guides out there that give you a path to the most efficient and fastest path to level. This isn't one of those. This is simply a list of my favorite zones and why. So if you're looking for visually stimulating zones and a cool story, this is the video for you. Let's start with the old world. Winter Spring. This zone is gorgeous. Purple sky, almost pink snow, vivid wintry landscape. Grab a blanket because you might feel cold leveling through it. In addition to the spectacular visuals, Winter Spring has some pretty fun quests as well. For example, one quest chain involves you helping an orc, troll, and human decide an argument over which weapon is best. Felwood. After playing through Legion, you're either going to love this zone or hate it. Personally, I think it's really cool to quest through an old world zone that has early ties to the war with the Legion. But if you're sick of Felgreen, you'd probably be better off skipping this one. Felwood has an entire quest chain dedicated to the history of Illidan, encountering and fighting with Arthas and gaining the School of Gul'dan, which enables Illidan to transform into a demon. If you're a lore nerd, this is definitely a zone for you. Feralus. Yeah, this place is pretty. You're gonna hear me say that a lot in this video. It's got a neat story that revolves around the mystery of Dire Maul too, so it's got that going for it as well. Ungoro Crater. The amount of hype around Zandalari druid forms alone should be enough reasoning to quest through this zone. Dinosaurs. Also, it's pretty. Red Ridge Mountains. Red Ridge Mountains hold some serious nostalgia for me, so of course it's on my list. But besides that, Red Ridge has an iconic orc versus human story, which is super cool, and for me it's one of the best low-level zones in the game. Eastern Plaguelands. Most of my zone recommendations include reasoning that includes the zone is pretty. Eastern Plaguelands is not one of those. This place has been decimated by the Scourge, but because of that, and a revamp in Cataclysm, the questlines are rich with lore and a fantastic story. The zone includes the battle for Darrowshire and the fate of the Strathholm residents, so again, if you're a lore nerd, definitely check this one out. Eversong Woods. In addition to being visually gorgeous, this Horde zone is filled with interesting lore-heavy starter zone quests. Starter zones don't always have the best story, but this Blood Elf zone is great for learning about their rich history and decadent lifestyle, and their struggles to keep the Dreadscar that runs through the middle of the zone from growing. Alright, let's talk about Outland. It should be absolutely no surprise that Nagrand is on this list. I'm pretty sure Nagrand is universally thought of as having one of the most gorgeous zones in this game. It's got a pretty cool story too, although it does have its fair share of kill this many of that quests. Truly though, if you're Horde and you love Thrall, you need to level through this zone. There's some pretty neat story here that you aren't going to want to miss. Netherstorm. Honestly, a large reason that the Netherstorm is on my list is because it looks cool. Are you really surprised though? Aside from that, Netherstorm has a pretty cool story revolving around the Burning Legion and the Twisting Nether. Again, if you're interested in some background story on our current expansion, this is a good zone to quest through. The zone is in a constant state of deterioration due to its proximity to the Twisting Nether. Unless you played during BC, you probably missed this zone altogether, so go check it out. Moving on to Wrath of the Lich King zones and Northrend. Grizzly Hills. With the exception of some weirdos, Grizzly Hills is another universally beloved zone in World of Warcraft. It's got some of the best music in all of Warcraft, and here's a shocker, it's really pretty too. The Grizzly Hills questline immerses you into the story of the Worgen Curse and the Venture Company destroying the forest, among other things. Definitely one of the highest zones on this list that I think everyone should quest through. Storm Peaks. Storm Peaks is a really unique zone that's designed around cold weather flying. Because of that, you do a lot of traveling up and down a mountain in a way that's different than traditional leveling. Since I love Winter Spring so much, it's not a huge surprise that I like the snowy cold aesthetic of Storm Peaks either. Because the zone requires flying, it's not great for power leveling through, but it does have a cool story, so I'd suggest checking it out. Off to Cataclysm zones. Uldum. Uldum is another zone that ties into modern-day lore and storytelling. The place is absolutely filled with Titan lore. I don't want to say much more because I don't want to ruin the story. Visually, it's kind of like the WoW embodiment of ancient Egypt, aka gorgeous. Hyjal has a great storyline where you help Malfurion and Ysera defend the World Tree, and the zone uses heavy phasing to immerse players into the action. It's high up on my recommend list. Jade Forest. Mists of Pandaria was the first time in a few expansions that WoW's minimum requirements had a significant bump. You can tell from the graphics. Every zone in Mists is detailed, the texture and depth of field is phenomenal, and there's new effects and animations we've never seen before. So for this reason, I could choose pretty much any Mists of Pandaria zone for this video, but I'm going with Jade Forest because not only is it gorgeous, it's also so quintessentially Mists of Pandaria. And that is where I'm ending this list. I know that there is a Warlords of Draenor expansion and zone after Mists of Pandaria, but we're just going to pretend that that doesn't exist. Just go ahead and dungeon your way through the leveling there, and you'll be at Legion content. And I mean, at that point, you've been in all the zones, so go wherever you want. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your favorite zones are. I am always up for learning new places that people enjoy and leveling through them because, you know, allied races and heritage armor. Anyway, if I had to pick one zone from this entire list that I would say you have to quest through, I think it would be Uldum. At least right now, that's where I am in my brain. I love the Titan lore of this place. I love that it looks like Egypt, and it's really cool. It's one of those zones that stands out when I think about my WoW play history. So with that, give this video a like if you enjoyed it. I guess if you didn't enjoy it, that's what the downvote button is for. So you know, do that too. Like I said, let me know what zones you're into in the comments down below. Subscribe if you would like to see more from me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.